This is a really special session for me. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to give you some knowledge that I suspect you will not get at any other legal conference. And that is because we have David Kilgore here. Thank you, Scott Milner. David Kilgore may be the ultimate techno lawyer. For those of you who are law students listening today, think of the old adage you hear. It's probably trite or hackneyed by now. Find something you love as a job and you'll never work for the rest of your life. There's a lesson from David's career. There's also something about David's career about the techno lawyer, and here's why. I've known him for a while. In fact, we were on the high school debate team together. One thing I knew about this guy, he had cool cars. He had an Alpine Sunbeam, if you know what that means. He and his dad went to races. Well, then the career comes in. He went off. He became an IT director at Rice University. He was there for over 20 years. He then went to law school. All the connections here, Nerv was just talking about connections and networks. The reason that I met Judge Xavier Rodriguez is because David Kilgore was his teaching assistant when he was in law school. You may know that Judge Rodriguez is an adjunct professor. David has taken this and he's gone back to the career he loves. As you can see here, mapping your way, it's David Kilgore Esquire. He is a track technician for IndyCar. And David, if we look what's going to go on today, you've got the IndyCar there, and you've got David's connection there. David's going to tell you everything about data, except it's going to be in a format and in a platform you're probably not familiar with. Why are they, why, you can see it, how, who owns the data. It's the things we talk about on a daily basis. Now we're going to do it in the IndyCar world. David, all right, why don't you tell us about what data are collected?
So we're primarily collecting time data. We time, the cars are equipped with transponders, and we've got some slides on this. We also have telemetry data. That's data that we acquire from the car itself. We deploy weather stations around the tracks and bring that data into the data stream. And then we have human performance data. We have earpieces that we'll talk about in a few minutes that have accelerometers, temperature probes, and speakers in them, where we actually put these on the drivers themselves. So those are the four real types of data that, that we're gathering at the track.
All right, then why don't we move on to why are the data collected?
Safety.
Okay.
First and foremost, it's about safety. We also have this little side issue of we're interested in who won or not. But by and large, it's about making what is an inherently dangerous sport as safe as it can possibly be.
All right, moving on to how are the data collected? And this is something that everyone in this room and everyone online, I think, works with on a daily basis, but we probably don't work with this.
So this is the track we're setting up right now and down the road in St. Petersburg. We have a race this weekend, St. Petersburg Grand Prix. This is the track map, and this shows the timing lines that we use. These are lines that are embedded in the track, and the next slide shows the full picture. You know, we've got the timing lines plus all of these items layered on top of it. We've got cameras. We've got continuous car to data, basically a Wi-Fi network between the track and the cars. We've got signaling panels where we tell drivers information about track conditions, whether they need to slow down or anything that we need to communicate that would normally be communicated with a flag, a person waving a flag. We now have light panels to do that.
And you've got more telemetry as well. And, you know, we've all been watching the Winter Olympics recently. And I said to my wife, this is ridiculous. How can they get to like 2/100ths of a second? I mean, they should just call it a tie. But apparently, I'm not up in the technology here, sir.
At 2/100ths of a second, we would use an hourglass instead of, we measure to 10,000ths of a second, out to 4 decimal places. And the equipment that we use on this slide here, there is, you know, the car is equipped with a transponder, think of a toll tag, that broadcasts its identifier 10,000 times a second. And it's mounted in a specified location in the nose of the car. Different series mount their transponders in different locations. But ours is mounted in the nose 36 inches back from the actual nose of the car. Those communicate with the loop that you see, the yellow lines here in the slide, that is buried in the track, and that is connected to what we, being the creative types that we are in racing, call trackside boxes, because it's a box that sits beside the track. And that contains a decoder, which correlates the signal from the transponder into the data stream, GPS for timing, and network connectivity to our fiber optic backbone. I was just talking to one of our fiber technicians before we came on, and just the timing team in St. Petersburg has deployed 6 miles of fiber optic cable around the track, and we're only one of about 3 or 4 parts of the operation that will be deploying fiber. So we've got a lot of fiber, big network surrounding the entire track.
And that allows you to be that precise, I guess.
That's where our precision comes from. The top graph that you see is really the progression of the car up towards the first line of the loop, the first peak, then the valley, then the second peak as it crosses the second line, and then trailing off as the car goes down to the next line. And it's that lower part in the valley between the 2 pieces of wire, they're precisely 2 feet apart, that gives us the timing precision that we need. So that low part of the valley is where the software assigns the passing of that car.
And you've got a lot of technology in the cars. I mean, we're not talking about the old races we used to see, and you mentioned the checkered flag. Look at this.
Yeah, this is just an overview, really, of the kind of telemetry that we get from the car itself. We get data from suspension, we get temperatures, we get tire pressures, we get all kinds of stuff that goes onto a car area network that then is fed through the telemetry system back into our system.
All right, we've seen a lot of technology here, and Dawson Horn said in the keynote very eloquently this morning that there's got to be a human element when you use this technology. So we're looking at the human performance, because these cars, there are autonomous vehicles, as we all know in this room and online, but what about the human data that you need for your races?
We equip each driver. They have radio headsets, earplugs, custom molded to them. And inside those ear molds are triaxial accelerometers and temperature sensors, as well as the speakers for their radio systems. So those communicate with the black box that is in the car, which collects also what the car is experiencing as performance dynamics, and adds a gyroscope, to the black box. And that allows us to understand, in the event of an incident, what forces was the vehicle subjected to, what forces was the driver's head subjected to, and our target, which we have achieved, is for the drivers to experience less than 30% of the forces that the car itself absorbs. So the car is absorbing 70% of the
Excellent. Fewer
force.
tragedies. Going on to how do we use the data? What's that?
That is one of our light panels. That actually belongs to Formula One, not us. But
Nice of you to talk about the other guys.
Other guys.
But you see the tech. We're going to speed through here because this is a lightning round. How you use the data? You've got a bunch of things here.
Yeah, we give it to the officials for rules enforcement, and we look at driver safety. We talked about the EPAs. Car safety, what's going on with the vehicle itself. Can you see something predictively that you need to alert a team to? The teams are looking at all of this telemetry data for their own cars. We're looking across the field. Then competition, goes back to the who won. It's where are you fast? Where are you slow? What can you as a driver, or what do we as a series need to be able to tell people about what's going on? And then we feed it to TV and the internet for the broadcast. All of that data you see, the graphics you see on the screen, gaps and differences between cars, that's all coming from our data stream.
All right, so Techno Lawyer has used all his e-discovery and legal skills in here, and we're seeing this. We're getting to who owns the data, a big issue here. And I can see that your lawyer days have not left you, because there's your answer.
They have not. It depends. It's primarily governed by contract. So different series will treat it in different ways.
Excellent. And what are the industry data retention policies? Something we all know in this room, and
it depends.
Again,
that's entirely up to the individual series teams. So
All right, and then very quickly on what's next.
This is our future of timing. Right now, we will get away from the GPS. We will get away from the loops and go to a GPS system, a high precision GPS system.
And Sharika's going to give us the hook, but I know that you're in the middle of a race. Thank you for coming down and joining us. I know you wanted to thank the IndyCar team. David Kilgore, my old friend, thank you for coming down here.
My pleasure.